Hey, what's happening, Nation? It's Son Joku. I am finally back. I owe you guys an explanation. I got sick as shit, and it completely sucked. I ended up getting COVID, and then about 4 days into COVID, I ended up getting the flu. And then, like 2 days after that, some intestinal shit that I've dealt with years ago ended up flaring back up. Dude, I was laid out for like a solid 2 weeks. There was like a 6-day stretch where I could not even get my ass off the couch to move. I was quarantined from my family, I was quarantined from work, I was quarantined pretty much from every damn thing, and I was sick as hell. But I am back. I am happy as hell about that. I'm not going to waste too much time talking about it. I'm just happy as hell that I'm healthy enough to get back on and start doing this, especially before the season starts. But I ended up missing out on my favorite part of the entire damn season. You guys know how much I love the end of the off season and all these cuts. I know everybody's been out there talking about it. I know these other Raider guys have kept you guys covered completely, but there's a few things that I had to talk about. There's a few things that I have to mention. I'm going to run through my list real quick and just kind of put my thoughts out there. And then I definitely want to hear from you guys because I've missed y'all so damn much. So we're not going to waste too much time. We're going to go ahead and jump straight into this. If you are new to the channel, if you think about subscribing, I really would appreciate that. But let's do this, man. The first one I want to talk about was Isaiah Johnson. I talked about him being cut a few weeks ago. You guys were pissed about it. You guys jumped down my throat. I understood it, but at the same time, with the way Hobbs was stepping up, in some ways some of these other guys were progressing, the writing was on the wall, especially with not him being at camp. I know a lot of you guys were like, Gus Bradley saw his potential every time we played against the Chargers. Dude, unless you're seeing it on the field on a daily basis, it kind of sucks. I wanted to see Isaiah Johnson stick around, but he did not. That one pissed me off, I'm not going to lie. The next one I want to talk about was John Brown. John Brown asked for his release from this team. I guess the thought of being a number 3 wide receiver, deep threat, kind of decoy was not what he wanted to do. I really think it was a mistake on John Brown's behalf. I really thought he had a shot at having like a Nelson Aguilar type season where he could have played for us, ended up putting up some pretty decent numbers, then signing with somebody else next year for a pretty decent contract. He didn't want to end up taking that chance. We'll end up seeing what happens with him. The thought of losing that speed, though, kind of pisses me off. I really thought that we had some real potential to be able to put some burners on the field and just really stretch defenses. We're going to have to see how that kind of shakes out. But John Brown, best of luck to you, but you made that choice, not us. The next one was Carl Joseph. Man, that one truly pissed me off. You guys know how much I love Carl Joseph. You've seen how many defenses I have stuck him in. That 3 safety defense with him, Abram, and Moore, that was insane. Like, I loved it. I really did. But we ended up cutting him and then keeping Dalen Levitt. If somebody could please explain that shit to me, I would love it because that blows my mind that one, Dalen's still on this team over Carl Joseph, and then just the fact that Dalen Levitt's still on this team. I do not understand that. That really pisses me off. So let me know your thoughts on that one. The next one, Darius Stills. I love that kid. I wanted to see him stick around. He was a waived injury kind of player. I really thought he had the potential of maybe making the practice squad for this team. Seeing that he is completely gone now kind of pissed me off. There's a few things that I have missed out on, so maybe we might end up getting him on the back end. I just don't know if that's going to end up happening. And then we're just going to keep pushing here. I'm sorry, but I'm real excited, and I'm happy to be back. The next one was Denzel Perryman. That kid's only 28. I was really happy that we ended up bringing him on. I think he has a ton of potential. I think he's going to end up kind of playing more of a backup role for us, but I think being in that rotation could be huge. I honestly think at the start of the season, he has a shot at kind of taking one of these starting positions as far as that inside linebacker goes if we get into some of these 3-4 packages. I really like having him on the team. He passed his physical. The trade was a great value for us. I was not upset about the trade at all. So hopefully he can end up panning out. He knows this defense. Hopefully he can kind of work with these other dudes, kind of get up to speed incredibly fast. I really think we're going to end up seeing him against Baltimore. So I'm pulling for him. I'm really pulling for him. The next one was KJ Wright. KJ Wright, I was pretty excited about. He is 32. I understand he's on the back end. He was pretty pissed that he ended up having such a rough offseason. The bottom line, in my opinion, KJ Wright is no longer a starter in the NFL. KJ Wright feels that he is still a starter in the NFL. I don't know if he's going to end up playing in that Baltimore game. A lot of you guys are saying that he needs a little bit more time to get acclimated. I think we have a pretty good shot at seeing him, especially since we are a little bit banged up at that linebacker position. But I'm pulling for him, man. I think he has lost a step, but I still think that he can fill that role for us, especially until a dude like Javen White can get back on the field and Mara can get back on the field. And then once he can get into that rotation, Wright wants to play. Wright wants to be a starter, so he's going to be competing his ass off to get that spot. I'm pulling for him. I'm really thinking things are going to end up working out. the Raiders have a tendency of bringing in older guys to kind of finish out their careers. I do not want to see Perryman and Wright end up being guys like that. I want to see these dudes come in here, compete for that starting spot, and have the potential to win it and end up sticking it through the entire season. A lot of people have been saying that this defense has taken like a real hit, and there's been a few damn moves that have really pissed me off that I do not understand. But I mean, we just have to trust the system. We have no other choice but to sit there and do that. But I'm telling you right now, there's a few of these moves where I'm just kind of like, this defense kind of took a step back, in my opinion. I'm not going to lie. I have to see it on the field. I have to see these guys come together. I have to see what Gus Bradley can do with these guys all coming together. But I really think that linebacking core, it's not as good as I thought it was before. I'm not going to sit here and say that I think it is. And then that secondary group, I honestly think took a hit too. This defense has a hell of a lot to prove to me. Gus Bradley has a hell of a lot to prove to me. I've said that in the past, and it stands even more so right now. The next one was Javen White going on IR. I'd said before that Javen White had a potential of not actually making this team. I was wrong about that. I think Javen White ended up playing damn good through the preseason. That injury that he took, you could tell. I mean, you could tell first that he was hurt, and you could tell that he was truly upset about that. I'm really glad that he ended up earning a spot on this team. He actually saved Nevin Lawson's ass from getting burned on a deep throw. And we're going to talk about Lawson in a minute here, but man, I really hope he can come back. I really want to see Javen White get more involved. I want to see him end up taking over one of these starting linebacker spots. It seems like we have a ton of young potential, and then we end up cutting them or releasing them, and it just kind of pisses me off to kind of see that continue to happen. I want to see these young dudes develop, but it seems like the Raiders never do give them a shot. The next one was Peyton Barber coming on at that running back position, and then we had Kerryon Johnson in for... We didn't sign him or anything, but just kind of had him in, just kind of going through the motions, taking a look at him. Both of these moves kind of pissed me off, dude. Regis ended up looking damn good through this preseason. Regis should be our number 3 running back on this team. I do not understand why that is not happening right now. It pisses me off that the Raiders will not take a shot on these younger dudes, put them in that true depth position, let them learn and let them keep pushing forward and just kind of earning that spot. It drives me insane. I know exactly what the hell Peyton Barber brings, and I would rather see what Regis can bring than watch another year of Peyton Barber continue to push through in the NFL. I'm not happy that he is a Raider. I really think he's going to end up starting this year as our number 3. I don't think he's going to end up seeing too much play time, but I think there's better options out there for us, man, and I think that we have it sitting on our damn practice squad, and the fact we didn't pull the trigger on us, or on that, kind of pisses me off. And then Markel Lee is back. You guys know I love Markel Lee. If you've been with me for a minute, I used to talk that kid up all the time. He is back on the practice squad, which was cool to see, man. But having like Markel Lee come back on the team, and then having a dude like freaking Tanner Muse cut off this team, that blows my freaking mind. I'm not going to lie. Tanner Muse went out. He put in the work. He put on the size. He made that transition to that linebacker position. He looked damn good through the preseason. And what's his reward? He gets cut off this damn team, and now he's on Seattle's Seattle Seahawks practice squad, which means he has gone off this team and with somebody else. Dude, that truly drives me insane. That kid had all the upside in the world. Plus, he was like a beast on freaking special teams. But you end up putting Javen White on the IR list. You bring Markel Lee onto your practice squad, and then you release a dude like, dude, no, his money was paid. Like, some shit had to have happened with Muse that we did not hear about for him to just be blatantly cut off this team and moved on from. That move still blows my freaking mind. Him, Carl Joseph, and Isaiah Johnson are 3 moves that kind of have me scratching my head and kind of pissed off right now. I'm not going to lie. And then... yeah, then I talked about Muse being cut, man. And so that was the top ones that I wanted to talk about and just kind of get your guys' opinions on. And so just let me know what you're thinking. I'm not going to waste too much time. I'm definitely going to jump into this comment section because I have been waiting to hear from you guys. I am not going to lie about that. I'm going to kind of scroll back up to the top, but I'm going to be flying through them. So hit me up. Let me know your thoughts, man. I'm jacked as shit to be back right now. Let me see. Damn, you guys have been moving. Chris, what's going on, dude? Ardo, how are you? 805, dude. Thanks for putting that in the comment section about Seahawks. I actually read that article earlier. Lenny, how are you, man? I'm glad to be back, dude. I really am. Reyes, what's going on? Yo-Yo, what's good? Costas, Gord, what's happening, man? Just really, really happy to be back. I don't understand the player development. It kind of makes them look like they don't... I don't know. Gord, I'm kind of right there with you. A lot of these moves have just kind of been shaking my head, dude. Flinko, what's going on, dude? I felt like you a few times on Twitter, dude. We shall see what happens with Muse on the practice squad. Everybody's been screaming for KJ all offseason. Now we got him. Somebody had to walk. Can't have it both ways. That's kind of my thing, though. You could have had it both ways because there's other moves you could have ended up making on this team. Dalen Levitt shouldn't be on this team. Nevin Lawson shouldn't be on this freaking team. Those are two cuts that you could have ended up making and still keep a guy like Muse sticking around on this team. There's some moves that have been happening that have really been pissing me off. Costas, how are you, man? Thank you for coming out. Another wasted pick by Mayock. 805, man. I saw an article earlier that said Carr is not in the hot seat. Gruden is not in the hot seat, but Mike Mayock is definitely in the hot seat moving forward. Gruden kind of sucks at draft picks. It's his history. He's kind of sucked with it with the Raiders. He sucked with it with Tampa. He's kind of proved that he still sucks with it. So he went out there and he brought in Mayock, and Mayock has a really good eye for talent, but Mayock's talent needs time to develop, and Gruden ain't going to let that shit happen. So that kind of is not working for us together. Ardo, how are you doing, dude? I literally created a script of everything I wanted to mention. Ardo put it out there in the comments, dude, man. I'd love to hear it. No, Gort, Costas, you guys are right, dude. He put in the work. He put in the work. Muse put in the work, did everything he was supposed to do, and that shit it didn't pan out for him, dude. I don't understand why Levitt is still on this team. I don't either. I really don't. Al, how are you doing, dude? Pizza, what's going on? Carlos, how are you? Dude, I'm so damn happy to be back. You have no idea. The Raiders stay in linebacker trouble. It drives me insane, but you're right about that. And I've talked about that in the past, dude. When I was doing my linebacker breakdowns, I've talked about how this team was lacking a little bit of depth. And then you go out and you bring in a dude like Wright. You bring in a dude like Perryman. And then you do, all of a sudden, like a dude like White and a dude like Muse end up being like kind of your depth pieces. And you're like, holy shit, dude, this is looking insane all of a sudden. But then you start cutting these pieces and then they start getting injured. And dude, and it's looking weak, dude. And I'm telling you right now, another like positional group that's looking weak right now is that offensive line. That starting offensive line, I truly feel is a truly solid unit. I think they're pretty damn good. But if you lose one tackle throughout this season, it starts to get shaky. You end up losing a tackle and a guard. Dude, Derek Carr's gonna be running for his damn life, and it pisses me off. I know we brought in a few more pieces, a couple dudes on the practice squad, and a few dudes that that are going to end up being like the back end depth pieces, but it's going to take them time. We cannot have any early injuries on that offensive line. It'll kill us, dude. Pizza, how are you doing, man? I'm glad you can make it out, Pizza. Carlos, man, dude, you have no idea. Stumbling, how are you doing, man? I'm glad you're better now. Dude, it sucked. Sucked. I'm not even going to jump back into it. I am just happy as hell. Will, what's going on, dude? Are you vaccinated? No, I'm not. And now I have to wait like 3 months to get vaccinated because I have the antibodies running through me. I don't care, dude, but I will not go through that shit again. I promise you that. And it's some shit that like I deal with on a daily basis because I'm working with people and like I'm essential. So I'm face to face with people on a daily basis. So it's just one of those things I have to deal with. And like in retrospect, would I go get vaccinated or like having that sickness and dealing with all this shit? Probably, honestly, but honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do, dude. I'm just happy as shit to be back. That's all I can say. Steven, what's going on, dude? Oh, that boy Sadami, how are you doing? Oh, Silver Raider, what's going on, man? I'm glad you could make it out. Oh, Arkham, what's going on, dude? Good to have you back, son. Joe Q, much love, dude. Happy to be back. Chevy, what's going on, man? Little Shaw, what's good, dude? Thanks for hitting me up, man, and checking on me. I really appreciate that. That kind of shit means the world to me. Juan, how are you doing? Really excited for this season. I am too, because I'm telling you right now, if this season can end up being kind of not injury-free, because every team's going to deal with some bullshit, but if our depth can step up a little bit, I really think this team has a serious shot. I think this team has to make a playoff push in order to save some people's jobs. But some of these moves are driving me nuts. Like a dude like Carl Joseph being cut, knowing that a dude like Abrams he's gonna hurt himself at least once, probably for like a week or two. That shit's gonna happen. It's just how he plays football. And then like losing him, and then all of a sudden you have Levitt coming in behind him. That shit does not make sense when it could be Carl Joseph coming in behind him. I'm really just hoping that everything pans out. If we can stay pretty healthy, I think we have decent depth at that cornerback position. That safety position has me a little bit suspect now that we ended up cutting Carl Joseph. I really thought we had a solid 3 safety group, but now it's kind of taking a hit. So I don't know. We'll have to see how it plays out. If we can stay healthy, you were right. You predicted the Johnson cut. I didn't want to predict it, but you could see it, dude. You could see that it was happening. Isaiah Johnson's chance. Dude, he got his chance. But now Isaiah Johnson's going to go somewhere. Keep an eye on that kid, man. Glad you're brother. I'm really excited for this season. But man, one, I am two. 2A's, what's going on, dude? I'm glad you could make it out. Let me scroll down a little bit. Chef B, what's going on? John Brown wants to sign with the Chiefs. Shaking my head. And honestly, John Brown probably won't sign with the Chiefs. He's going to end up probably signing with the... oh, Mariano, appreciate that. The Lions. That wide receiver core has just been beat to shit, so he could probably end up going over there and being the number 1 or number 2 wide receiver and getting some pretty legitimate play time. So... it sucks, but it is what it is. Describe the Raiders in the season in 3 words. Mine is Gruden's last chance. What's yours? I really think this is the chance for the Raiders to honestly go out there and make an impact this season. I understand the Chargers have gotten a hell of a lot better. There's a ton of hype behind that team. That defense has taken a little bit of a hit, but that offense... like, if you look at the AFC West, these offenses are becoming more and more explosive. The Chiefs are hanging... the Chiefs are like the team that you have to catch up to. The Chargers are trying to keep up with them. We are right freaking there with the Chiefs right now. I think we're one step above the Chargers still. The Broncos are still kind of a dumpster fire, which I love to see. But having a new starting quarterback over there could end up making a pretty big impact for them. We'll just have to keep an eye on it, man. The AFC West is getting tough as shit right now. Chef, I'm glad you could make it alive. Oh, Sandy, what's going on, dude? Our D-line is going to be legit this year. Our defensive line is the strongest part of our defense right now. Catch up, what's going on, man? And thank you for making it out. Tesla, how are you doing? I just bet that the Raiders to win the Super Bowl, 40-1, $200. I hope you win it, dude. I hope you win it and take them for a damn ride. I believe you with Joseph too, and I'm not about the Mayock later computer. Dude, I don't get it. I do not get that move at all. We should have cut Levis and cut Joseph, and kept Joseph. You're 100% right. Like 100% right about that. And you should have cut Nevin Lawson, dude. I understand that Nixon ended up getting banged up, but if you still end up have Mullen, you have Hayward, you have Arnett, you have Hobbs, you have Amik Robertson, another dude that I wanted to mention in this video just because I think Amik really stepped up and showed me some shit that I really had not seen from him before. I watched his college tape where he looked pretty damn lights out, but his time in the NFL has been a little bit suspect to say the least, but I put a lot of that towards Gunther, and then Gus Bradley wanting to transition him back to the outside. Dude, that cornerback room's looking pretty damn solid. That defensive line's looking pretty damn solid. It's that safety and that linebacker group, the core of that freaking defense on the inside, which we've seen get shredded time and time again, especially by slant routes by teams like the Chiefs and the Chargers, repeatedly year after year, and you're kind of still leaving that hole. It pisses me off, man, because we had a serious shot at being able to fill that. Levitt is a special teams gunner. He is, but we have other gunners on this team that could have made that spot. Levitt must have been compromising in pitchers. Costas, he must have something on somebody, dude. King, what's going on, dude? Levitt should be gone a long time ago. I completely agree with that. Raiders, what's going on, man? Hey, brother, nice to see you back. Is it possible you got more handsome? Dude, I lost 17 freaking pounds. I am not going to lie. A lot of it was like water weight and muscle mass, which completely pissed me off because I was actually starting to put on a little bit of size. Dude, I'll get it back, but that shit, dude, laid me out. We have to win now, players. Oh, right now in Perryman, now over Muse. See, and that's the thing. Having Perryman and having Wright and then having Kwiatkowski and Littleton, like we have a decent linebacker core. But you need pieces behind that. And the fact that Javen White is hurt and then you get rid of Muse, who do you have coming in behind these guys? Because Morrow's hurt, Javen White's hurt. Like these dudes are on the injury reserve. So now all of a sudden you have these linebackers coming in that are just, they're not going to be ready, one, and they're not as good as fucking Tanner Muse, dude. It blows my mind that we cut that damn kid. Although, yeah, dude, I'm a huge supporter of him. Martin, how are you doing, dude? I'm sorry, but this defense you have looks deadly. Dude, I really like this defense. I know I'm going to catch some shit because it won't be able to stop the run because that's the same shit everybody says. But I'm loving the way the 3-4 looks. I understand Gus Bradley runs a little bit of a 3-4, but he stays more in that 4-3 with that single high safety. But I like to take different looks at it, and I really wanted to put Perryman and Wright into this lineup. I wanted to see how it looked having these guys on the field. And then Nick Kwiatkowski Nick Kwiatkowski's another one, dude, who I thought played excellent last season. And Gruden talked him up all damn year. And now it looks like when Morrow's back, he's going to be kind of taking him more of a depth role, which is huge, dude, because I will take Nick Kwiatkowski as a depth piece behind Perryman and behind Morrow. And I think that is totally awesome. It's still outside spot that's kind of worrying me until these guys can get healthy again. Playoffs are bust. You're damn straight about that. Let me just scroll down and catch back up because you guys have been rolling here. Damn, where are you at, Bob? I saw you. Hey, son, welcome back. Super Bob, dude. I was hoping you were going to be out. You are damn right. Like, that sickness sucked. And the sickness combined with the other was like a super just bullshit. Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I probably should have ended up going to the hospital, but the hospital by my house, like, literally has tents set up because they're taking care of so many damn people. So I just kind of suffered through it. I knew if it had got any worse than... There was one night where I honestly almost woke my wife up like, all right, I need to go to the hospital, even though I know she would have told my ass just to go lay back down. But, dude, it sucked. You got to keep pushing. Just do... I don't care like what your choice is as far as like being vaxxed or unvaxxed, but do whatever you have to do to keep your family safe, because I'm telling you right now, you do not want to deal with that shit at all. Ricardo, what's going on, dude? Mark, how are you doing? Isaiah Johnson is on the Texans practice squad. I thought he was on... No, I thought he was on a different practice squad. Mark, I might have read it wrong. Week 1 is going to be tough. I'm ready to see some rug speed. Ricardo, dude, week 1 is going to be tough. But Gus Bradley plays very good against mobile quarterbacks. We are going to have a true test week 1. I really think that we are going to end up winning that game. I think it's going to be close as shit. I think we're going to end up winning by like a last-second field goal on like a car drive down the field. I think that game is going to be intense. I want to see us come out of it pretty much injury-free. It has to be. But our running game has to be pretty legit that game. Our Derek Carr has to be able to step up, and Derek Carr has to be able to hit those outside wide receivers, because I'm telling you, their number one priority is going to be taking Waller out of this game. I know Jacobs has been a little bit banged up, but he's going to be ready. Kenyon Drake is going to have to step up and play a huge game. Josh Jacobs is going to have to be able to establish that run, and our offensive line is going to have to be able to not necessarily control the game, but they're going to have to be able to at least control those initial first downs so we can get into those 3rd and 3, 3rd and 5 situations. If we start getting into 3rd and 10, 3rd and 15, and then we start getting behind in that game, it's going to end up being a shit show. I don't think it's going to end up happening. I think this is going to be a coming out party for this defense. These guys have to be able to step up, though. There is no other way about that. Are you going to do lives after each game if you have time? Yeah, Flanko, I will. Honestly, dude, now that I'm back and like healthy again, finally, I'm like at like 85%, and I can see myself just getting better. I'll be doing my pre-games. I probably won't be able to... Most games I won't be like live right after the game. It'll be later into the night. Most Sundays I end up working. I'll come home. I'll watch the game that I ended up taping, or I'll end up just catching it somehow. And then I'll end up doing my live later after that. But then just, I'm going to keep rolling through, dude. I'm going to continue to upload videos because I do enjoy that. It's easy for me to pump out, but I definitely, now that the season's getting back in, I want to get back into like doing just my regular live streams again, because I really miss this shit. Joel, what's going on, dude? I'm glad you make it out. Nate Hobbs ended up taking Isaiah Johnson's job, and it sucks, dude. But another one, dude. Isaiah Johnson should still be on this team. There was other cuts you could have made. Ritter Tweed, what's going on? We're going to have a bunch of holes next year. I don't think so. We just have to see how these dudes play out, dude. Hobbs will be a Pro Bowler. Hobbs is going to be a damn good player for a long freaking time. A lot of you guys, when we first brought him onto this team, I was like, we brought Nate Hobbs on, dude. I think he might have a little bit of potential. And then a few guys hit me up like, you have no idea how good Nate Hobbs actually is. Watched a bunch of tape on him, watched that kid kind of progress, started to agree with you guys, and then we actually saw him hit the field through the preseason. That kid is a special damn talent, man. McCoy for Walter Payton Man of the Year. Dude, I will take that all damn day. He deserves it. Raid the Tape, how are you doing, man? Crazy how things have flipped upside. Dude, Raid, man, I've been watching you. You and a few of those other guys have really been carrying me through. I've been watching you guys where I've just been laid out, so thank you for the work that you put in. If you guys don't subscribe to Raid, definitely go check him out. That kid puts on a damn good show. He works with a lot of the other Raider YouTubers out there. And I'm telling you, man, they put on, like, him and Honcho, when they get together, they put on one of the best shows on YouTube. I'm not going to sit there and lie about that. And then the Pillagey podcast came back last night. I don't know if a lot of you guys caught that. It was their first show coming back for the season. The Pillagey podcast cracks me up. I catch all their live streams. They usually go live pretty late, so I watch them until I end up crashing out. Those dudes put on a hell of a show too, man. So many damn good channels out there. Diego, what's going on, dude? Burning out up here in Sacramento. Diego sent me a picture of that jacket he picked up earlier. That thing is sick as shit, Diego, man. I'm happy you were able to pick that up. D-Mac, how are you doing, dude? 34-20, Raiders win. If we end up setting the tone and beating a team like Baltimore 34-20 week 1, it's going to set the tone moving forward throughout this season. You'll see some really damn good shit happen. I don't think Baltimore is going to roll over and die like that. Baltimore, Marquise Brown scares the shit out of me in that game just because he is such a deep threat. It's going to be a push right for Morg right off the back, just just to see if he can keep up with him just kind of streaking down the sidelines, especially when he thinks he has corner help that just ends up getting toasted, because I don't think Mullen's going to end up taking him. Mullen's going to end up being on their number one. Drox, what's going on, dude? I'm glad you could make it out. Raiders need an offensive line. Raiders offensive line starters are solid as shit. Once you get one injury, it gets really shaky. Shakedown Sanctuary, what's going on, dude? So glad to have you back. Man, I'm so happy to be back. Y'all have no idea. Tupac, what's going on? Are we going to cut Lawson, or you think we should stick with him? I honestly think the Raiders are going to stick with him. And I'm telling you, that is the second defensive coordinator that has seen something in Nevin Lawson that no one else in the world can freaking see. I don't know what that kid does during practice to where everyone's like, oh man, we need to keep Nevin Lawson on. I understand he's going to be suspended again, but that kid has real freaking talent. The dude gets fucking toasted all the time. We've seen it time and time again. But for some reason, he's going to end up sticking on this roster. Blows my mind. I really don't get it, but it blows my freaking mind. Costas, I appreciate you, man. Noah, what's going on, dude? What do you think about Muse, dude? I talked about it earlier. It pisses me off, dude. Like, completely pissed me off. I miss your videos, bro. I'm happy to be back. I got COVID a month ago and I lost 15 pounds. Dude, Diego, that shit ain't no joke, man. Like, it's, I don't know. I'm not going to dwell a bunch of time talking about it because I lived through that shit and it sucked. What do you think the Raiders will go after Latavius Murray? I thought he was actually still with the Saints. Did he end up getting cut? I'll tell you right now, if Latavius Murray got cut off the Saints and we can go out and get him as our number 3 back, I'd be happy as shit about that, because I know that dude still has something in the tank, and I loved him on this damn. He was one of my favorite Raider running backs of all time. I know I'll probably cut shit for that, but I don't care. Who shot me? What's going on, dude? Brandon, how are you doing? Lawson is horrible. He's terrible, dude. He's freaking terrible. How do you like our chances against Baltimore? I think we honestly have a pretty legitimate shot. I want to say that it's probably like a 70-30 that we end up winning that game. I kind of have the same feeling about that game that I had about the Saints game last year, where everybody was like, dude, you've lost your mind. My brother was on the show. He's like, there's no chance you beat the Saints. Like, we went out there and beat the shit out of that team. And I really think that it's going to be that same kind of momentum. Having the fans in the stadium, actually having Derek Carr on the field, actually taking some reps, will kind of piss me off, because I know a lot, like the joint practices are like our preseason now, so you don't see your true starters, but like every team in the NFL seemed like they played their quarterback at least one time through the preseason, whether it just be like one series or just like 2 or 3 series, just to kind of get him a little bit of work. We never saw that shit. And then Mariota was banged up the whole damn time, so we just saw a big-ass dose of Nathan Peterman kind of carrying this team through the preseason. I don't know if Mariota was actually hurt or if it was just kind of we don't want to get him banged up before the season starts. But I will tell you, if we don't see Mariota in some packages and we protected his ass all through the preseason, it's going to piss me off. I want to see Derek Carr come out there. And I know a lot of people are like, Derek Carr's going to be lighting it up, dude. He's going to have Bryan Edwards. He's going to have Ruggs. We saw Bryan Edwards and we saw Ruggs last season. We saw Derek Carr kind of neglect throwing the ball to them. Same thing with Zay Jones. He does not work his outside receivers into the game as much as he should. It pisses me off. I don't know if it's him. I don't know if it's Gruden. I don't know if it's just been a shaky, messed up offensive line to where he just doesn't have time to let this shit develop. So he dumps it off to the running back, or he rifles one out to Waller real fast. But if we can get into those sets to where we can end up having Foster and Waller on the field, and then you still have Ruggs, you still have Edwards, dude, you're looking pretty damn strong at that point. I want to get into those 2 tight end sets just because I think it could be incredibly fast, but I think in those 2 tight end sets, especially when you do have a dude like Waller on the field, you have Ruggs streaking on one side, you have your possession guy in Edwards, I think it's going to open the door up for a dude like Foster Moreau to end up having an insane season this year. I really think that, like, out of everybody that you see on this offense, I'm not going to say that he's going to lead the team in anything, but he's going to be the biggest surprise of this season, and I am happy as hell about that. I've been pulling for that damn kid for a good minute. Javier, how are you doing, man? Sanjay Lawson was even getting burned in the preseason against the backups. That's what I'm saying, dude. Like, Javen White saved his ass from getting torched. Like, Javen White was just running backwards and threw his hand up. Nevin Lawson was 2 steps behind the receiver and behind Javen White. And Javen White's a fucking linebacker. Nevin Lawson sucks. I'm just going to say it right now. That dude should not be on this team, but he is. And for whatever reason, he is. So we have to deal with that shit, dude, because he ain't sticking around. Dream Surf, how are you doing, dude? Z's, what's going on, dude? Hopefully pray for the Lord that no one can grab or that no one gets hurt on this deep. No, dude, they can't. Like, not in that linebacker room and not in that safety room. Our cornerbacks, I think, honestly, will be covered pretty much pretty well. I think that defensive line has a solid ass rotation. If that defensive line can get pressure, it's going to make this secondary look a hell of a lot better than it actually is as far as that safety group goes. And because I'm telling you, if Abram goes down or Trayvon goes down, we're in a shitstorm right there as far as that safety position. We're going to have to transfer into that single high safety, and then you're going to have Abram. If Trayvon ends up going down and then all of a sudden Abram gets stuck playing that single high safety position, his ass is going to get torched. We've seen it. We've seen it time and time again, and it pisses me off to say it. Abram's ass needs to be moved up into that box. He needs to be playing around in that box, just kind of shooting gaps, shooting holes, and then just lighting up tight ends or running backs when they try to come across the middle. Dalen Levitt gets on that field in that single high safety position, we're fucked. It is what it is. Murray equals many snaps from the shotgun, like when DC's hand was hurt. Yes, Chevy, that is 100% correct. Do you think Gruden will be run heavy with the runner? No, I don't think Gruden's offense is going to change at all. You're going to see it be incredibly run heavy with him taking his shots. The only thing that I think is going to change, I think Bryan Edwards is going to step up, and you're going to see us have more of that possession wide receiver again. And I'm really hoping that if him and Carr can get that rapport, it'll be looking pretty damn good. I love Murray better than McFadden. I agree with that 100%. Not my choice, just what I heard. No, Robert, dude, we're all kind of in it together right now. First tiebreaker is head-to-head. Yes, it is. What's our record in 2021? Dude, I'm still thinking that we end up 10-7. I think 10-7 doesn't get you in the playoffs. That's what kind of pisses me off. I think you really have to go 11-6 to get a wild card. Anything higher than that, you're kind of fighting for the division. That extra game coming onto the season is going to kind of throw a wrench into some of these things. I'm telling you right now, if you have 10 wins or less, chances are you're not making the playoffs. And that just kind of is what it is this season, especially with how damn strong the AFC as a whole has become, much less just the AFC West itself. Noah, Zay Jones, really going to be solid. Dude, Zay Jones... Zay Jones is like an off-season wonder, dude. I don't get it. But when he hits the field during the regular season, him and Carr all of a sudden magically lose that rapport. Zay Jones ended up making this team. Kind of blew my mind. I really thought we were going to have a different... I don't know. I really thought we were going to have a different number or a final wide receiver. We ended up dropping from 6 wide receivers to 5 this season, which kind of blew my mind. I really thought we were going to end up keeping 6. We got a few decent dudes on the practice squad, though, so I think they're going to be kind of relying on that. It has to be Gruden. Carr threw the slot deep ball. Yes, he did. But in 2016, dude, you had a better freaking offensive coordinator. He had an offensive coordinator that would make mid-game adjustments to where he would be able to start lighting teams up. And he doesn't have that anymore. Right now, his offensive coordinator is a puppet that just answers to Gruden. Nothing more, nothing less. Do you think Gus has a game plan for Jackson? Yes, I do, Javier. I really think that... I've said it before, dude. Gus Bradley plans very well for mobile quarterbacks. It's just a matter of if his defense can keep up. If the Raiders need to come out and prove that this defense can keep up with a team like the Baltimore Ravens, because the Ravens are a playoff team that is going to be competing throughout this season. We have to be able to beat them week 1. We have Monday night. All eyes are going to be on us. All the talent in the world is going to be on that damn field. We should have all our starters in place. Dude, they better make it happen. They better make that shit happen. Dirty Eric, what's going on, dude? That's why we need to win the division, period. 100%. Tupac, will we miss Nelly? Or for sure thing, Trustin Edwards and Ruggs. It's not that we're going to miss Nelly. It's just the fact that we're going to be missing... Ruggs has to be able to step up and fill that deep role now. That's kind of my thing. I knew that John Brown was going to be able to fill that kind of Nelson Aguilar role, but now that he has gone off this team, you have to have a dude like Edwards and a dude like Ruggs. Ruggs has to become that deep threat, and then Edwards has to become that possession guy. And then you have like your number 1, number 2, and it's working out perfect, especially with the tight ends, and then we have that slot receivers between Hunter Renfrow and the dude, it's looking like solid. Like that wide receiving room, honestly, is looking solid. It's just a matter of Gruden calling the plays and getting the balls to these guys. Because I'm telling you right now, Josh Jacobs will be able to establish that run. Drake being on the field and then kind of motioning into that slot or taking passes out of the backfield, it's going to be another added element to this offense that I'm really excited about. I'm really hoping that we see Drake and Josh on the field at the same damn time, because I really think that opens up a shit ton, especially if you still have 2 tight ends on the field and then you have Ruggs sitting on the outside being able to streak. It opens every damn thing up out there. You just have to be able to make those adjustments. You have to be able to make those moves. Miami, what's going on? We'll start off 8-3, then end up going 9-8. It's got to seem to be a trend, as much as I hate to say that. What's wrong with Jacobs? Martin, nothing's wrong. He's been a little bit banged up. They said he should be back at practice on Thursday. He's just been kind of going through the mode. He'll be ready for the game. There's not a damn thing wrong with him. Card needs to throw the ball deep more. He does. Drox, I agree with that. We just have to see what's going on. Pono, what's happening, dude? How are you doing? Carr and Jones are besties in the offseason. 100%. Carr doesn't know anyone named Zay during the season. No, dude, it's like they lose it completely. Brandon, what's happening, dude? Would you put a spy on Lamar Jackson? If so, who would it be? Yes, I mean, honestly, you kind of have to, just because Lamar does love to run that much. I do not know who that spy would be. We had a really good spy that we ended up letting go, and I'm not even going to say his name because so many people are going to end up right on my ass. But he played the spy against the Chiefs last year, and he looked damn good doing it. Possibly Diablo, I could see that, but if you're going to have a spy coming out of that field, it has to be somebody that's going to be able to, one, be able to keep up with Lamar. Two, he's going to have to understand the NFL at a level to where he's going to have to be able to work through the audibles just as fast as Lamar is going through them. Upstate, what's going on? O-line dynamic. Dude, that O-line needs to stay healthy. It has to stay healthy. Our wide receivers will be fire this year. They have all the talent in the world, dude. Raider Nation, how are you doing, man? Thank you for coming out. Diablo may not play game one, missed a lot of training camp. That is a real possibility. I think Edwards is going to be our number one wide receiver. But the Raiders don't actually have like a number one wide receiver spot. The way Gruden's, it's the XYZ. Like, somebody's going to get the ball. It's not drawn up as a true number one. That's why all his receivers have to be able to know all the different positions. Because a lot of these dudes don't even know where they're going to end up, or like, they know where they're going to end up playing throughout a game, but there's going to be times where they end up lining up in the slot, or they end up lining up outside. Or a dude like Waller is going to end up lining up on the outside, and then one of those dudes is going to get shifted into the slot all of a sudden. It's just different motions like that to where they have to be able to keep up. And then a dude like Drake being on the team, being able to motion out of the backfield, it's going to change up a lot of these looks. A dude like Drake might end up motioning all the way to the far outside to get lined up against the cornerback. It's a very real possibility. Gruden better open this shit up, dude, because we have a ton of potential. Make Abram the spy. I love that, dude. Because I'll tell you right now, the first time he tried to run and Abram ended up coming downhill and lighting his ass up, it's going to change the damn game plan. Upstate, how are you doing, dude? Are the O-line going to gel? Our starting O-line will gel. I think our starting O-line will be fine. As long as Incognito, even if Incognito goes down, I really think we have depth behind him to where it would end up being okay. It wouldn't be perfect, but you still have your starting four. If you get in a position where you end up losing Richie and then you end up losing like Leatherwood or yeah, dude, dude, it gets ugly at that point. Like, it gets ugly quick. Ricardo, Arden Key, you're right, dude. It was. Arden Key, say what you want about him. Dude played a hell of a spy. Might not have been able to get to the quarterback. Might have always been a second late. Might have ended up blowing him against the run a few damn good times. But the dude could play that spy spot. Is it possible for Avon to be the spy? It's possible. We don't say that name anymore? No, we don't. You saw Joku, we got the peanuts from the Ravens. Yes, we did. Your brother Vegeta. Oh, Jack, what's going on, dude? I'm glad you can make it out. Waller is the number one receiver. Yes, he is. But we can't have that. He could be our number one in targets. He could be our number one in catches. But you have to have a receiver on the field that demands respect from the outside, or you're going to see teams start stacking the shit out of that box. And it's going to be a repeat of what we saw before. Graham, how are you doing, dude? Just look at this lineup. This is dangerous. And thanks for coming out, dude. Wildcat, how are you doing? We missed you, dude. Our prayers are answered. Thank you, Wildcat, man. Polo, how are you doing? I think Foster is our sleeper on this offense. You're 100% right about that. Oh, Sapphire, what's going on? Finally caught the live. Martin, just tell Abram Lamar is back free. All right, man, that's pretty much all I have for you guys tonight. I got to end up killing this. I got to wake up and take the little ones to school in the morning. I am so happy to be back. Thank you all so much for coming out tonight. There's a ton of people in here, and you guys, I love it, and I appreciate it so much. But until next time, guys, I'll be back in like a day or two just because I have a ton of shit that I still want to talk about. But until next time, I'm Son Joku. Thank you all very much. If you could click that like button on your way out, it really does help me out and keep me growing. But we will catch you guys on the next one. And